Guys, what is up? I can't sleep just because there's just a whole bunch of crap going on right now. And I want to start with the second lieutenant, Karan Nazario. He was the lieutenant who got pulled over in army uniform, had his hands, all hands outside of the car window. And I'm just going to keep it real with you guys. When I first heard of this story, I was definitely kind of like, hold on. I was definitely kind of like, oh, let me just scroll past this because all I see is a black man's hands out the window, and then I see police officers, ready to shoot, and I was like, I can't do this to my mind, to my mental health right now, so I just kept it moving. So then I was watching TMZ Live, and I was like, oh, this story, and then I finally saw the story, finally heard what happened, and I was just like, first off, Homies is in an army outfit. He doesn't look like he's causing any, crime or anything. I understand why the lieutenant did not want to get out of the vehicle because he was armed and felt like his life would be at risk if he even moved, if he even, and I completely agree, but what pissed me off, because I'm not surprised by the officer's actions who pepper sprayed him. I'm not surprised by that. But what I am slightly surprised by is when the chief comes out there, or some old man who looks like he's the boss, and basically talks to the lieutenant and says, I won't make it a problem if you don't make it a problem. And I'm like, what? But that lieutenant was just so smart. He was probably just let me listen to what they're saying. Let's just follow the rules, and then I'm gonna sue their asses later. And I thank God that is what he's doing. I'm so glad those police officers have those body cams on them, because those officers are going down, because it's so and then I know there's a lot of people out here in these streets who don't believe in the Black Lives Matter movement. I'm highly aware of that. I believe in it just because I say, I believe every single life matters, but I say Black Lives Matter just because a lot of people are still struggling with the definition of all. So that's why I say it. Now, I understand if some people are just no, they're really offended by it. So I get it. But with the whole Dante Wright situation, I like to first state that I'm so sorry for his family. I'm so sorry. There's just no words, I'm thinking about him right now, but with that being said, because it's just, the whole thing is horrible, but with that being said, every single Black parent has the talk with their kid, about when you get pulled over, put your hands out the window like the lieutenant did. Put your hands out. But this dude, it's already bad enough. It's already bad enough that you have cops killing people, right? But you're gonna move? You're not gonna listen to the cops? You're not going to listen? They're already suspecting your ass, and you're going to sit here and try to get back in the car and do whatever it is. Make it make sense. That's... We already don't need a reason for the cops to shoot us. And you're already going to be you're already, moving around and doing this and that. So with that being said, and I know a lot of people, because I've talked to my friends about this, and they kind of some people disagree, some people don't. But at the end of the day, this lady, the officer who pulled out the gun instead of the laser, I genuinely believe that was an accident. Because even after she shoots Dante, she's like, oh shoot, I shot him. Because she thought it was, and she was like, laser, laser, laser. And now I know I've seen it. I've seen all the videos. I've read, and where people are just it's so hard. You have your laser on one side, your gun on the other side. It's so hard. I've owned so many guns, and, I can't, people will be like, I can't, you can't mix up a laser and a weapon like that. You just, I've heard it. But when you sometimes, and granted, there are some there's some occupations like being a police officer that's really not the time where you want to fuck up. And being a pilot, you don't want to almost think you can fly the plane today. So I understand. But as a human being watching that, I genuinely was like, fuck, this officer messed up. She made a mistake in this. And just the word mistake, because there was death. So mistake is just so underrated. So whatever, she murdered him, and I don't think it was premeditated, and I have some people in my family who are like, oh no, she knew what she was doing. As soon as she got out of that car, she knew she was going. No, I honestly, truly believe that, this was a mistake. And I hate even saying that word because a death was the cause of it. And it makes the death seem not like important, when you say mistake. But that's what I generally believe. And, when I read that the officer, she had like resigned, whatever, or she got fired, whatever, I was like, okay, good, because even if she went through training, I wouldn't want her ass on these streets, because who's to say 4 years, 2 years, whatever years from now, she mistake a laser from a gun or a gun from a laser, keep her ass off the streets. However, I just thought I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry for the people who are just so torn down, and I did not think this was the case for a Black Lives Matter movement. I think this just was what we saw, what it was. And it's so horrible. I would never, my heart really goes out to Dante Wright. My heart goes out, but I genuinely, just a viewer watching it, I feel like it was an accident. It was an accident. That's what I feel. And I think that sometimes a lot of people take the Black Lives Matter movement and they try to take so much advantage of that. The Black Lives Matter movement is there for people Karen or Karin, the lieutenant. I'm already forgetting his last name, and like I said, my heart goes out to Dante Wright, but I also feel like, that officer, she got arrested today with no bail. Here, America witnessed George Floyd get killed on camera. We all witnessed it all over the world, and only America is the one who has a trial and everything for, a whole murder that we all witnessed. And those cops weren't even arrested for how many days? But this lady gets no bail. And, it's just, the whole thing is just so messed up. And I think my whole point in all of this is that, is there going to become a point where African Americans abuse and take advantage of the Black Lives Matter movement to where we call the cops, they're not going to come, and that's my biggest fear. My biggest fear is that how are we going to expect cops to help us if they're afraid that if they're afraid of their own lives too, you know what I mean? Being taken away from them. And so, there's just so many thoughts going on in my head at 12:19 in the morning. And, it sucks because I can see both sides of everything. I got pulled over in the front of my house because the guy said I did a California roll, or I don't know what the hell he said. I didn't stop fully at the stop sign, but I did. But I was getting off work, and there's a slight chance I was just happy to go home. And so I made because he said I stopped, but I didn't make a full stop. So whatever. But I got pulled over, and I had a Chewy bar wrapper in my hand, and he goes, "What's that? What's that? What's that in your hands?" And I'm like, "Where do you live? Where do you live?" And I tell him my address. I'm like, "It's right there." And, it was just this whole thing. So I've been on both sides, and I get it. But the guy was yelling at me I don't know, had weapons in my vehicle or whatever. He would just want AWOL. 0 to 100. Not even 0 to 100. He just came to my car 100. But Either way, this is just a conversation, an open conversation for anyone who watches this video. It's not to be like, you're right and you're wrong, you know, it's just an open discussion of what's going to come, you know, when we like call an officer and, you know, are we going to get any help? You know, there's just so many thoughts. I don't know. What do you guys think? I'm just, you know, how many people, and it's like, how many people are going to want to go into law enforcement? And after this, it's like, there's just so many things going on. Like, you know, Black Lives Matter, but realistically, everyone else's lives matter too, right? But let me know what you guys think. I just think sometimes people do abuse the whole Black Lives Matter movement and spin it and try to use that to justify some actions that just should not be justified. Feel me? So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. This is not like a hate thing. This is just simply me having a conversation because it needs to be had. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you on the next video. Bye, guys.